Shazam!
What is
Formerly known as Captain Marvel.
What does Zach, but in this picture, why does Zach Levi look like a roided up Pee Wee Herman?
Does he?
Like those lips, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, wait, gotta look at.
Welcome to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I'm your host, Dara Whitman, and here with me is my lovely co-host,
Cailin. Clothing.
So, that was fun.
That was a good time.
Yep, guys, we got to the season 4 finale. We did it.
We done did it.
Cailin,
Finished the season.
how are you?
I mean, like, yeah.
And this is what the last thing you're going to be watching until the next time we record.
Oh, man.
So,
I'm not sure how to feel about that.
you don't. Anyway, so today we're going to be discussing episode 9, the Mitigation of Competition, and episode 10, From Dancing Mice to Psychopaths.
Okay. Well, yeah, there were plenty of psychopaths sticking around.
All right, so let's talk about Cosima for a bit, because like she does important stuff, but like there's not a lot.
Right.
So remember, she's on the island of Dr. Moreau with Susan, and they are basically working with the Leda egg and castor sperm to make like another, I don't want to say baby because, you know, but like stem cells.
Yeah, bunch of stem cells.
That works. To hopefully make a cure. And while they're doing that, Cosima is also reading The Science of Neolution by P.T. Westmoreland. I don't know if we mentioned that, but he was mentioned a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And she meets Charlotte. And they talk about the island a bit. And that's about it.
Woo.
Cosima does more than the next episode.
Yeah, definitely more in the next episode. This one, yeah.
And hopefully something good.
Yeah, maybe.
Aw. Allison. Let's discuss her.
Let's do it.
So Donnie's out of jail. Although, like, he's out of jail, but he's, like, the charges are still there.
Yeah, he's just kind of out on bail right now.
Yep. And Allison's kind of upset because she feels like she's, like, losing her faith. And she can't pray. And they talk to Adele about, like, the stuff that they can do. And it's basically, they're fine as long as...
That's her in the corner. That's her in the spotlight. Losing her religion. Thank you.
Who sings that song? The only time I've ever heard it was on Glee.
Ariane?
Okay.
That's a shame.
There's some good covers on Glee.
Have you actually heard the original?
Maybe. I don't remember.
You have to hear the original.
I actually don't mind the version of Glee.
That hurt my heart to hear, but okay, continue.
I said I don't mind it. I didn't say I loved it. So they're talking with Adele, and also to bring in Adele, but Adele's getting suspicious. And she's going to get more suspicious later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I'm going to cut out of that for a bit. Well, first let's talk about, so Donnie and Allison have some coitus.
They do it.
And they're trying to figure, okay, because like they're just like really stressed out. Mm-hmm. So they need to figure something to do, but they can't actually leave the country. But you can like go out other places, right? As long as you don't leave the country.
Right. Well, he has to watch kind of the parameters of his bail, and he had to surrender his passport.
So they want to go. So they're thinking about going, like sending up the kids and going to Niagara Falls and just like, you know, having fun.
Yeah.
So they're packing up and they're about to do that, but then one of the Neolutians comes to the house and threatens them. Mm-hmm. We'll get back to that in a second. Because guys, Helena's back. She starts up. She's in a park.
She's in what? It was like Beaver National Park or something like that.
Yeah. And she kills a deer, but she needs it for food and like warmth and stuff, so it's fine.
Yeah.
That's how I approve of hunting. If you are going to use all of it for something, then I 100% approve.
Right.
That's like I 100% approve like if you need to do that.
Right.
And I like 90% approve if you technically don't need to do it, but like you still use all the parts.
Right.
Okay. My stance on hunting. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
PSA aside.
Although there is a funny bit when like there's like a family like driving through the park and they're like, look, a deer, and then it's just like Helena
just carrying a dead deer,
and the kids are traumatized.
I'm traumatized.
It's fine. And then Helena calls Sarah because Sarah's doing some stuff, which we'll get to, and says like, can I help out with anything? And they don't really want to have her involved. It's because, you know, she's pregnant. Don't like.
Right. She's doing her own thing. Like everyone respects that. Just like, it's fine. Just do that.
And then she goes, and then Adele's talking to Felix about, like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, did your family kind of kill off Duco? Because Allison might mention that, like, Duco's not the problem.
Right, yeah.
And then suddenly Helena shows up.
Yep.
And Adele's like,
very confused.
Yep. And there's, like, because she says, like, oh, they're triplets. And then you're like, oh, but, like, you all sound different? I'm like, they could have been separated, honey.
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
Yeah.
And then Helena finds out about what happened with the Hendrixes. Meanwhile, they're getting threatened, and then the one guy's gonna put a very bad bot into Allison's cheek, and she's like upset, and Donnie's all tied up, and it's intense.
Yeah.
And then she starts praying, and then hopefully an angel appears, and then one does in the form of Helena.
Yay, our favorite angel.
And then she shoots the guy. She shoots the guy with a bow and arrow
through the neck.
Did you miss? You miss Helena?
I did miss her a little bit. Yeah.
Hey, remember in season 1 when she was killing them?
Yeah, I don't miss that part at all.
She still killed somebody, but
that's okay.
So the Hendrixes are safe. Helena's back. Hooray! Any thoughts? Or you just?
I'm just happy Helena's back and helping people out.
I wonder if somebody else is going to come back.
Who could it be?
Well, let's talk about Sarah and Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of doing stuff together.
Yeah, they're kind of teaming up, even though they don't really want to team up, but they're teaming up.
All right, so they're teaming up, and they want to bring down Brightborn. They want to bring down Evie.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. So they found out that 2 of the surrogates named Kendra and Tabitha, who were both pretty much full term, have left, or they ran away.
Yes.
So Rachel wants Sarah and Felix and like their people to find them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's mainly Sarah and Art who like go off to decide to figure that stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So they first track them down to a women's shelter, and there's a bunch of cop cars, so you know that's a good sign.
So obviously everyone is doing okay.
Yep. And Art says, I'm gonna go in and check it out, and we see Trina. Remember her?
Yeah.
Because apparently Tabitha called her.
Right.
And Trina's a bit upset because Tabitha is dead.
Yeah, she allegedly committed suicide.
Dead baby, because she was still full term.
Yeah, she was like about ready to pop there, and now they're both.
Because they revealed that like somebody checked into this woman's shelter. One was full term pregnant, and one had a newborn.
Right.
So one of the babies were. Also, we should bring up that Evie, and we're going to say it was from them, was sent a video of that. If you remember, in several episodes back, there was a baby with like a hole near where like the face should be.
Yeah, just a big old face hole.
And one thing, and like it sounded like it was having difficulty. I think it was a girl baby. Mm-hmm. It was having difficulty breathing. So it was like that. Yeah. No, you know what I mean. I can't.
It's making some scary noises.
So like it sounded like it was probably having a difficult time. It probably would not have lived long.
No.
But still, that does not mean you euthanize it, which is what the video shows.
Yeah, they straight up put that baby down.
So congratulations, Cailin. We got 2 dead babies.
More dead babies. Well, in one episode. Wow, lucky me.
Anyway, so they're kind of threatening them, saying like, leave us alone, or like they're threatening Evie, saying leave us alone, or else we're going to expose this.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so it looked like, go back to Tabitha, so she's dead. And it looked like she hung herself, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But then Art looks at her fingers and says these are defensive wounds.
Yeah.
And the one detective there is kind of like, it's probably nothing. And then Art decides to, Art's like, all right. And well, actually, also the detective asks him about Duco.
Yeah, like,
and
hey,
then,
you seen that guy?
Did you sense to think, oh no, this detective's a neo-illusionist?
I feel like I saw that guy before.
He and the other woman interrogated Helena as Allison.
Oh, okay.
And then I think they were there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like trying to remember where I saw that guy. But yeah, that guy had a look on his face. I was like, that's a sketchy fella.
Meanwhile, Sarah also sees Trina and then poses Beth and asks, like, and tries to figure out, like, where Kendra might be. Mm-hmm. And mentions that she might be in this town called Tidsdale where she grew up and, like, she might have had a house that she could stay at for a bit.
Right, because they had a whole thing earlier where it was, like, a very poverty-ridden area, which is why Evie Cho tried to build the Brightborn facility there to make jobs and stuff, so it all comes back to
Evie is a great person then, right? Minus the unconsensual gene therapy and euthanizing babies.
Euthanasia? Yeah, how about no?
Unless it's consensual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So then we find that out, and then Art and Sarah are like, all right, we're going to Tisdale.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, so they're trying to, they have like a name, like a last name of the house, so they're just like going door to door.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get a call from Rachel, who's kind of doing something else. And you're kind of like, what's she doing? And Rachel's like, well, we got information on Kendra had a 4-year-old son.
Yes.
So they're kind of getting information on him and where he lives. And they're saying, like, if you want this, and they're like, we're not going to threaten the child.
Yeah, she's like, oh, what you do is you threaten her with the son. And they're like, no, we are not doing that.
But meanwhile, they start to track them. And Ira because Ira's with Rachel. Ira goes to find them because they have their location. So that's happening. Meanwhile, they then find the house and they find baby stuff. So they have to sneak in because Kendra's not, opening the door. Mm-hmm. And then they go up and they hear a crying baby. And were you expecting anything?
I was expecting a baby.
We're expecting a deformed baby.
I was expecting a baby to be different, but I wasn't sure what it was.
I mean, the baby was different, but it looked fine.
Or a giant bug.
It looked like the baby. He looked fine.
It was not a giant bug.
It looked like a baby.
Yeah, so it was a well-shaped baby.
And then Kendra comes out with a gun and is like freaking out, as she should be.
Yeah, understandably so.
Yes. And then Art and Sarah kind of tell her who she is or who they are, and they're kind of like, we can help you. And then Kendra basically says that her and Tabitha were about to be full term, and then they kept hearing stories. And then one day when the nurse wasn't around, they snuck out. And that Kendra had snuck in a phone to call her son. And while they went to this one hospital thing, and they filmed the euthanizing baby thing. Mm-hmm. And that's how you see the full video.
Right.
And also we learned that the baby who she named Jacob, is blind.
Yes. Because it was kind of hard to tell because, like, you could see the eyes were different, but, like, they couldn't put contacts in a baby, so they had to kind of CG the eyes in.
Yeah.
So, like, at first I was like, oh, that's a very interesting eye. Oh, wait, it's supposed to be blind. But, yeah.
And so her thing is, like, the baby's blind, so, like, they're going to kill him, too, which is totally true. Mm-hmm. They would have killed little baby Jacob.
Yeah, which is sad. So
then Sarah calls Rachel, tells them the situation. And she's just like, say we'll give them protection. It's like, I don't know if we, and Sarah's like, I don't know if we can do that. It's like, then lie.
Yeah.
Or use the information I have on her son. It's like, we're not threatening a kid.
Yeah.
And then, so then they're like, all right, we're just going to they figure they're going to take him to the safe house and just like, we'll deal with it then. Mm-hmm. But then somebody's trying to sneak up into the house. And Art and Sarah are hiding. Kendra goes to take care of Jacob. And Kendra gets a phone call from Rachel doing what Sarah and Art did not want to do.
Right.
So she threatens her son and says, get in this car and we'll be good.
Yeah.
And then Kendra does that.
She's like, well, don't got much of a choice there.
She does it as the illusionists like come into the house. Mm-hmm. And then Art kind of arrests them. And then the one woman's like, we'll be up by morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Art's like, well, they don't know who's a illusionist in the system then. Good times.
A good times, a bunch of kidnappers. Baby napping.
Anyway, Evie's getting ready for a press conference because we found out that her gene therapy stuff has been approved by the government.
Right.
Hooray!
Well, yeah.
No.
Woo-hoo.
No. So she's getting ready for that, and then one of the doctors, I forget his name, honestly, says that Rachel's downstairs, and it's going to be Bitch Fest 2015.
Yeah, throw down, bitches.
They more throw off with, like, sass.
Which is always fun to watch.
It is always fun to watch. Anyway, so they're kind of talking, and Rachel tells Evie that I have Kendra in my custody along with the baby, and I have the only copy of the video. Mm-hmm. I will give it to you, but I want to have like a position, basically.
Right. She's looking for a seat at the table. She doesn't care about anything else.
Meanwhile, Art and Sarah break into their hotel room, and Ira's there, and Ira's like, because they think Rachel obviously betrayed them, and it's like, you've got it all. Like, Ira's like, no, she didn't betray us. Mm-hmm. And then Sarah's like, no, she betrayed us. Where's Kendra? She's betraying you too.
Right.
And it's kind of going back and back. Meanwhile, we do find out that right now, Rachel did not betray them.
Yes, currently, at this current moment, everyone's still working together.
Yes, Rachel has a camera in her necklace and is filming all of this and recording it.
Yes.
And they did actually have other copies of the video.
Right.
So basically, she wants Evie to admit, like, why euthanizing the babies. Which she does. Evie does this.
Yeah, she's like, hey, so why are you euthanizing babies? And she, like, straight up tells her. So...
Yeah, I think she's kind of like, we can't have like we can't like say that we have deformed babies. Mm-hmm. What else are we gonna do? And it's like, great, we got it.
Yeah.
And then we have the press conference, and so it's going a little bit well, but then all of the press is getting this footage of Evie saying this, and then the video, mm-hmm. and you're just like, oh no. Mm-hmm. And then Evie's basically done. We did it.
Yeah. Bring her down.
Also, we should mention Rachel is having some visions.
Yeah, she's like seeing some strange things.
It was like the swan and then like this one guy, but now she's like seeing an island.
Yeah.
And probably some people killing a swan, which is great.
Perfect. Yeah, I know you like that.
And Rachel kind of comes to the conclusion that she's not like, this isn't like a vision or like a glitch. It's like the actual island, like something's going on.
Right.
All right. So like we find out that like this is like there's like like part of the island has got a bunch of people on it, and there's like houses and stuff. And that's what Rachel sees. And then we go into one of these houses, and there's some music playing, and it's a nice time. And there's a woman, and she's got curly-ish blonde hair. And then she turns her head.
Turn around every now and then. I cry a little bit.
Guys, Delphine's alive!
It's Delphine!
How happy were you?
I was like, as soon as I saw, I'm like, wait, is that blonde? Is that hair? Is that... Ah!
Yay!
It's her. She's back.
Hooray!
Yay.
So Delphine didn't die. She did get shot, but she's alive and on an island that we don't know where it is. And we don't know if we can trust them.
Yeah, we're not really sure what all of this is.
But she's alive.
But she's alive.
So that's all that matters.
That's pretty... It only took 10 episodes to get here.
I remember watching this season, cause, like, especially in the first half, so much was going on that I kind of forgot about Delphine.
Yeah, seriously. There's a lot of characters that, like, I'm so invested in the other characters, like, in that moment, like, for their plot specifically. And then I'm like, oh, wait, yeah. They're here. Like, Rachel for a while. I forgot about Rachel for a while. And now I'm like... Rachel.
And then, like, because again, I didn't assume that she was dead. I'm like, I don't know. And then I just forgot. And then there was this thing, it's like, oh, she was taken alive. And I'm like, okay, that's great. So that's that. Mm-hmm. But, you know, yay! Delphine can get back together. And we can forget about the single white female thing.
Yeah, we'll just, like, sweep that.
You know what? I think Delphine learned.
I hope so.
I hope she probably learned from that mistake, and really she was just trying to protect the sisters, mm-hmm. as well as herself, as well as, you know, be a little jelly. But they love each other. And remember, Sarah was an asshole too with the whole Jean thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're allowed to be an asshole once in a while.
Everyone is entitled to their one moment of assholery.
Anyway, so that's the end of that episode. Cailin, want to talk about the finale?
We should probably talk about that finale, and then we could talk about... everything.
All right, well, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with episode 10. Yay!
Oh, God.
We're back. It's time for a season finale. Cailin, are you ready? Anyway, so we're doing the season. So we got a finale now. Mm-hmm. You excited?
I think I'm also very nervous. Let's do it.
All right. So first off, we should probably say this. So first off, we're going to start off with Delphine. And we kind of see the different angle of her getting shot. Like we said, Crystal was also there, and she's just like standing there and has got like her, what is it, like kind of duck lips.
Yeah, she's got her like lips first. She's like, And
she's like hiding behind a car, And then, like, we see the thing where Delphine, like, sees, like, the person. Turns out Dugo shot her.
Yeah.
Because, of course, he did.
Of course.
I remember the rumor was that Shay shot her. Because it was actually, Shay was actually part of this.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't seen Shay.
Right.
So I'm assuming Shay's normal.
I think she's just doing her own thing. I think she just needs to have some alone time.
Mm-hmm.
Without all these crazy people
So
running around.
Dugo shot Delphine and was going to shoot her in the head. But then, thank God for Crystal. Mm-hmm. Her phone goes off.
Yeah, which distracts
Dugo.
And he gets the hell out of there.
And then a van comes by. And then Crystal started trying to help up, and then a van comes by.
She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm going to call 911.
And then the van comes by, and then the one doctor says, like, what are you doing here, Crystal? And then they try to get Delphine away.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get taken to the island, and then they heal her up.
Hey.
Hooray. I totally forgot if we want to talk about, because a lot of this stuff is semi-connected.
Let's just run through it.
Actually, let's go to Allison and Helena, because they don't do much. Basically, Allison and Donnie are hiding out in the wilderness with Helena.
That's it.
That's about it. They have some funny bits.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yep.
Let's start off with Crystal, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I think Crystal's a good one to start with.
Yeah, so let's start off with Crystal. So Crystal's at, like, some place. I'm, like, watching the press conference about Brightborn with her friend, who's also probably fairly basic.
Yeah.
And they're, like, Crystal's like, yeah, like, I knew, like, all along. Is that good?
That's pretty good.
Thank you. And then she sees the one doctor guy who helped Delphine, and then she calls Felix, and I'm like, can Felix just sleep?
Mm-hmm. No, Felix, it's Fix-It Felix. You call him when he needs something done.
And then, so Crystal calls him and is like, listen, I have some information on this doctor guy and with the French doctor Delphine, but I'm not just going to give it to you because I'm way better than that, so we need to discuss this.
She's like way too deep into it.
God, I'm so basic. Anyway.
Basic.
So Felix is like, okay, we'll arrange something. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to stop there for a second. And actually, I want to bring up some good news with Cosima. They found a cure!
Yay!
Yay! Woo! We did it!
And everyone's happy for 5 seconds.
5 whole seconds.
5 whole seconds. Everyone's like, yeah, hell yeah.
So let's say this. We're excited for that, but then suddenly Cosima can't get into the database, and then the Wi-Fi's cut off. So Cosima's cut off from everybody. Mm-hmm. So that ain't good.
Yeah, that's peculiar.
That happened. And Sarah's trying to, like, figure that out, but then also they need... to solve the thing with Crystal. Mm-hmm. So they go to the comic book shop. Felix is like, can you just, like, tell me, like, what the information is? And then Crystal's like, no, like, I want some, like, more, I want the truth and stuff. And they're like, all right. And they take her downstairs, and then they introduce her to Sarah. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm your clone.
And she's like, no. You look nothing like me.
You look nothing like me. First of all, my tits are way bigger than hers.
That was funny.
And second of all, even if you can get a comb through that hair, she's like a 7 on a good day, and I've been told I'm like a 10.
That was good. I'm surprised you remember like that whole thing. That's really funny.
I've heard it so many times because
really?
I've literally there's like this one YouTube video saying best of from BBC saying best of Crystal.
Oh, okay.
So I don't watch it yet though because there's some season 5 in there.
Yeah, no, I won't.
But and then she's like, you guys literally don't know anything, and it's so cute. She still thinks it's about cosmetics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, all right, there's 2 warring factions.
Like, she's right. She's right.
One is Estee Lauder.
She's 100% right, except for the cosmetics part.
Yeah, she's so good. She did really good work. Good work, Crystal.
Did she? But give them information about, like, this doctor. She tells them that this doctor kind of helped, Ian Van Leer basically helped out Delphine. Mm-hmm. So that happened, and then he's, like, kind of holding a press conference, and then, quote-unquote, Crystal shows up to interview him, and then basically says, let's meet somewhere, like, we're going to meet over at in, like, this corner.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that, again, it's not Crystal, it's Sarah, and Mrs. S is there, and they want to know what Rachel's up to, because, guys, Rachel's up to something, so we're going to go back to Cosima to figure that out.
You bet.
So Cosima's concerned about why she's being all locked up. And then she actually... Well, first, okay, let's talk about the funny bit with Rachel first, because Ferdinand comes back.
Yeah, I forgot about him for a little. I think I was thinking about him in like the previous episode, but I kind of forgot about him. Then he showed up. I was like, "Hey, it's that guy!"
And they have some freaky fun.
As soon as the door opened, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna get freaky, isn't it?"
It did.
It did. It not that.
Look,
freaky, but
it's fun when a woman is abusing a man consensually.
It's not really abuse if it's consensual, is it? It's more like a.
It's also fun when a man does that to a woman consensually.
Yeah, more like some good old BDSM.
And then Ira just like walks in
the middle.
Is he wearing? How come he's wearing socks? That was fun.
Just opened up a whole new world for Ira. He's like, you can wear socks while you do it. Now my feet won't get cold anymore.
What I'm doing, your mom. Oh,
hey. Perfect.
Over and over and over.
Oh, man. Great.
But anyway, so back to the plot.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cosima hears a phone call between Susan and Rachel and Ira and basically saying, we got the cell line back. We can start doing more cloning.
No.
We kind of knew that this could happen.
Yeah. It was kind of definitely on the table, but like...
We were kind of hoping that like... And I'm like, I'm kind of wondering if Susan actually like wanted to cure the clones.
Yeah, did she like really want to, or is she just like?
But like my thing is like, look, I get like we probably shouldn't be cloning anymore, but I'm like, can we still like cure everybody?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice. So then Susan locks Cosima in the bedroom. Hooray! No.
Damn it.
And then Rachel kind of puts her plan to effect, and we kind of see like what she's planning on doing, like with her at the board meeting,
right? And
then with Dr. Van Leer telling Sarah and Mrs. S.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Rachel wants to like take over. And it's kind of like horrific what she wants to do.
Yeah, it's like really messed up. Like I was like still trying to wrap my head around it because I'm like, wait, this just sounds like. Is there any good that come out of this, or is this just like pure chaos?
Well, first of all, they're gonna continue human cloning and put in the gene therapy bots into them.
Yeah, so bots and clones
in multiple generations.
Clones versus bots,
so that they can introduce the genetic changes into the human population.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't. You're basically not gonna. Not only are you not gonna give them any freedom, but like you're not gonna like even give them like the idea that they even have freedom.
Right.
Because that's kind of what the Leda clones. I don't. They did, like they had. I think the thing with the Leda clones is they had freedom. They were just. It was always monitored free. Like
right.
Like people were just watching them. Yeah. Like, but nobody was like driving. The only way they were was to like lead them towards certain monitors.
Right.
There's Anna Rachel. It's a good line. If you want to know our lab rats' tails will go back, we damn well cut them off and see. Yikes. The bitch is back.
The prime bitch.
Aw, Rachel.
Rachel, like, I never know how to feel about Rachel as a character because I'm like, oh man, like, I hate her, but like also, but like, damn.
You know what I like? Because Helena was probably the first like the kind of villain, and then she went good because she was just a sad little puppy,
right?
And then you're kind of thinking that might be the case with Rachel after everything that she went through in like season 3 and then kind of this season a bit.
Yeah,
and then
until the last couple episodes.
And then that doesn't happen. No, and you're like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So then Rachel goes back to the island and to probably talk to her mother. Meanwhile, after everybody kind of finds out about this, Sarah says, like, I need to go to save Cosima. And it's basically saying, like, she doesn't want anybody really to go with her. And it's basically saying, like, I'm immune to this disease. It's going to be my curse if my sisters don't get cured and I have to watch them die.
Right.
That's a bad curse.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rachel gets back to the island, and there's that man that she's been seeing in her eyes there.
Yeah.
And Susan finds out about the whole thing that Rachel did. And Susan's like, no, we're not doing that.
That's bad.
No, we're gonna keep doing. You're a disappointment.
Basically.
Meanwhile, this is going on. Charlotte gets Cosima out of the bedroom, and they have to escape. But then Cosima goes to get something real quick, which actually I need to discuss for a bit. But before that, Susan and Rachel are kind of having a fight, and Susan says some nasty stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're in a kitchen, and there's some knives.
Yeah, maybe okay. Let's say Rachel has a history of being a little off the rocker, so I would not confront her in a place where there are, like, say, sharp objects.
Or bring a pencil.
Yeah.
So, we get that done.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rachel just stabs her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad. And then Casima and Charlotte escape. So that's a good thing. And they're walking down on the beach, and it's starting to get dark, and it's starting to get cold, and it's not good. And they're getting lost. Meanwhile, like I said, Sarah was going on her way to the island. So she gets to the island, hooray.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets there, and she just sees kind of like a pool of blood.
Yeah, a trail.
Pool of blood. And sees Susan just like drenched, like one side just drenched in blood.
Yeah. She's trying to stitch herself up, but it's a little difficult.
And then says Rachel took the entire cell line.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm kind of wondering, considering what we know later, did she take it or did like what? Like how much do you think?
I have no idea.
All right.
I was thinking about that too. I have no answer.
All right. So, meanwhile, Rachel comes back and beats Sarah up with her cane.
Yeah, that was brutal. She was, wow, yeah. No, Rachel just kicked the shit out of Sarah.
And even stabs her in the leg with the knife.
Yeah, just like has a knife. Ching! Like, not good.
Yep, and then Susan pulls the gun on Rachel. Meanwhile, Sarah like pulls the knife out and just like bolts.
Yeah.
Because fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And then gets out of the house. Which is great. Mm-hmm. Kind of. Even though she's injured and doesn't have a weapon. And it's night out and it's cold.
Maybe not the smartest thing.
Speaking of cold, so Casima and Charlotte they're very lost and it's nighttime and they're just like hugging each other for warmth.
Yeah.
Casima's getting very cold and like she's starting to she's getting a bit more sick, like her nose bleeds at one point and like she's starting to like lose it.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
But then the old guy finds them and brings them back to Jonestown, because that's what I'm going to call it. I don't know. Do you trust this place?
I mean, it just seems like a bunch of people hanging out and having a good time. So.
Remember what did Delphine say?
I don't know, what did Delphine say?
She said we have to be careful.
Okay, but that's like everywhere.
Exactly.
That's like everywhere, so.
We need to be very careful and we can't show people that we have the cure.
Yeah.
By the way, Casima took the cure.
Haha, yeah. Oh, God, I love Casima.
So we know that, so I'm saying, like, what did Rachel, I think, because, like, I don't know if the whole thing was a cure or just, like, it was, like, kind of separate. Mm-hmm. So either Rachel lied and said we have everything, or they don't have everything and Casima has everything.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, was Rachel just, like, bluffing?
I feel like she might have been bluffing. I wouldn't be surprised. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so Casima and Charlotte, they get to this place. And then Delphine comes out of the tent, and then they see each other, and then they just, like, have their faces connect, and aw.
They miss each other.
Meanwhile, also,
they just love each other so much.
Casima's a bit cold and probably having hypothermia.
Yeah.
So then Delphine has to treat her, so they try to warm her up, and she warms up with her body.
Yeah, she, like, strips down. I'm like, Delphine, this is not the time. But you're like, oh, wait, she's using her body warmth. Yeah, that's smart.
And then Casima's like, I finished my homework, and then they kiss, and something good happened.
Aww.
But they're still stuck on this island that apparently Delphine doesn't trust.
No, yeah, I don't trust the entirety of the island. I mean, the little thing with the people, I was like, all right, but like, yeah, I don't really get.
Meanwhile, Sarah's stuck on this island alone. She calls S. Turns out Ferdinand's got S and Kira at gunpoint.
Great.
Not good.
Great.
And Sarah's just stuck there and can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. So, she is fucked.
Yeah, I'd say.
Casima is, like, sick and like, we're in a place that we don't trust, so she's kind of fucked. Mm-hmm. Helena and the Hendrixes are in the woods.
Yep, just hanging out.
So they're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Rachel's doing pretty good.
Yeah, Rachel is her own agenda is turning out just fine.
And we also learned, because Rachel asked about her eye to her mother, and then she says, like, oh, the old man, like, is still kind of doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then Rachel says, who's created my eye? And he's like, you know, the guy, the head of this, the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz.
It's the Wizard of Oz.
The guy who wrote the book a century ago.
Right. Westmoreland, right?
P.T. Westmoreland.
P.T. Westmoreland.
He wrote the book a century ago, Cailin.
So, I think he was just very precocious. No?
What do you think? He's still alive.
Yeah.
What we're saying is, and then...
Yes, he's still kicking, and he's somewhere around here.
So then, Rachel says to the board that they have, the the cell line, and then they said, Mr. Westmoreland will see you now, and then the doorbell rings, and Rachel smiled, and then fade to black, cut
and
to
we
black.
don't get to see Mr. Westmoreland.
What are your feelings on this?
Which part specifically? All of it, or the?
Let's start with Westmoreland, because I think you're getting the feeling that he might be the setup for the villain.
I was gonna say, is Westmoreland like the big bad?
Is he
like the biggest of bads?
Well, do we trust Neolution?
No.
And he's the head of Neolution, like the creator of it.
OG Neolution guy, who, as Cosima kind of makes a side note of, like, he thought poverty was people's fault because they were born.
It was genetic.
He thought poverty was genetic, and he was a racist.
It was a different time.
And he was a racist, so...
It was a different time.
Yeah, maybe probably not the best guy, probably not the smartest guy. Maybe he's learned a little bit, but with a place like Neolution, I doubt it.
I mean, we allowed clones and magabots.
I doubt it. Yep, I think I'm not going to like this guy.
If he is the villain, then it'll be the first time in Orphan Black that the villain is a man. Like a main villain.
I was going to say, what about Leaky? He not qualify under that?
I wouldn't call him like a main villain.
Really? He was major, though. He's pretty up there.
Yeah, but I think like when you could say like season arc villain, like if you're saying like season 2... which is where you would say that as. Yeah. We didn't know he was a bad guy till like a couple episodes in. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like Rachel was kind of the main bad guy.
What about season 1?
He wasn't really, I don't think he was in it enough to count as a villain.
Okay.
Not a main big bad. Like he was definitely like not a good guy.
Yeah.
And also like in season 1, he didn't like do anything specifically wrong. Mm-hmm. He was just kind of there and like the main guy for that.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. We did it wrong. So, Cailin, that's the end of season 4, the penultimate season.
Oh, man.
We have one more season left.
Oh, wow. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I'm excited, but also sad.
How are you feeling about this season?
This was a good season. This season, I feel like I just had it kept me interested like the whole time, which I really like. Not that I haven't been interested in previous seasons, but this one I like. I mean, I really loved the season premiere of this season, mm-hmm. and I think that just like kept me going throughout the whole season, so it was good. Yeah, I like the season. I know we've gotten comments saying that this is a lot of people's favorite season, and I don't know yet.
Do you need to watch the last season and figure it out?
Yeah, exactly. Then kind of review, okay, what happened where. But I really liked this season. That's all I have to say about that. I think I'm on it. I'm riding the train.
You're on the train.
I'm on the train.
I'm trying to think if I have any questions or anything that like you didn't expect or like were surprised by.
No, because I don't remember having a lot of like oh shit moments this season. There's some oh shit moments, but not like in like a reveal kind of way. That I remember having in some of the episodes in the previous seasons. Yeah, I don't think there's as many like oh shit moments where I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this crazy reveal of a thing. But I guess, yeah, learning some of the weird stuff about Neolution. There's like bugs and stuff and like weird things and like babies. Yeah, maybe some of the baby stuff wasn't expecting baby stuff. Well, although this whole show was like baby stuff in one form or another, so.
You did feel bad about Kendall.
I did. As much as I like want to be upset about this episode, like that was just a really well done episode. So it's one of those things. I think the show does a really good job of like anytime there's an episode where like bad things happen, like it does it in such a way where I can't fault it because it handles it very well. Mm-hmm. And that's how it happened. I mean, that's how it was with the episode where Paul died last season, and that's how it was with the episode where Kendall Malone died this season. Mm-hmm. So like it's one of those things where like I can't fault it. Because it just does it so well, even though it makes me sad. But it does what it's supposed to do. It evokes the kind of emotion it's supposed to, and that's what I really like about the show.
I'm trying to think of any other questions. Anything, like, negative?
Not particularly, I guess. I don't have any specific negative things I didn't really like about this season. Mm-hmm. I think there's things where, like, some things I was indifferent to, and, like, trying to think about that, I can't remember them. But anything I was like,
yeah.
But yeah, so what was it like for you watching the season again?
Definitely different. 'Cause I remember not fully like enjoying this season that much.
Yeah.
One, because I never fully cared that much about Beth.
Right.
And just like not because I didn't like her, just kind of like I thought I understood her completely.
Right.
And I think it was like this thing, and I noticed this with like some shows that I watch, where it's like they're easier to like kind of understand if you binge watch them versus like watching it week by week. Because I did actually watch the season week by week.
Yeah.
So it's like I would forget stuff, and then I'm like, wait, are you guys like, you guys are stupid? Like I think people were stupid because like they were doing something, and then like rewatching it and like kind of like watching multiple episodes at a time, I'm like, oh, like all right, they're not stupid. Like I just forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and I really so like I like the season a lot more. I forgot how intense this season was.
Yeah, it got intense.
Yeah, so that was a thing.
It was like a camping trip. Everything was intense.
No, it's me. And like I remember, I think because like so far for me as of this rewatch, I think season 3 is like the weakest. It's not bad.
Yeah,
but, like season 3 was just kind of a bit too like slow pace.
Mm-hmm.
And even like with season 1, which like I think was also kind of slow, but like not as slow, and they were like trying to introduce everything.
Yeah.
But season 3, like that's kind of like picked up. It didn't like season 2. I think is like the fastest paced season because there's like a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And then season 3 kind of slowed it down. I think they realized that like, okay, this isn't like it's fine, but it doesn't work great with us.
Mm-hmm.
So let's speed it up a bit. And then like the Neolution, like I think the show does what a show should do, which is like you stay within like your thing, but you keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
Because like we had just like the beginning of the clones, and like there's like these two factions, and then you build up on like the Dia thing and making that bigger, and then you introduce the male thing in the military, making it bigger, and then you introduce the whole that they're all under one branch, and then the next season we're gonna meet the guy who created it all.
Yeah.
It's gonna get insane.
Intense.
So what are you expecting with season 5? Anything?
Oh man. Well, okay, well I'm expecting to hear a lot more about this Westmoreland guy. But like I don't know, it's gonna be the last season, so a lot of things have to get wrapped up, and I'm trying to think like right now, like what needs to be wrapped up?
Well, like I'll say this. So like I think it was around the time either like close to when season 4 was premiering or like near the end of like season 3.
Yeah.
When the creators were like, the show's probably not going to last much longer because like we're nearing the end, and like we had an idea for an ending. Mm-hmm. So they said it's probably going to last like a couple more seasons. And then around the time that when season 5 was announced, they said like, this is the last season. We're just going to conclude everything. So like luckily the show wasn't canceled.
Right.
They were just going to end it. So I think the big thing you need to wrap up is to just like get these like scientist people out of all these people's lives.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of the big thing.
Yeah, it's basically like tearing Neolution or like those big companies, just tear them down and like just get them the hell out of here.
Remember, Cailin, you don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys.
You don't own me. That's a good song.
I'm trying to think what else we're going to talk about. No, like I definitely like the season a lot more during this rewatch, which I'm happy about.
All right.
I
think it's so interesting because it's when we find things that are very good, we struggle to spend a lot of time talking about them because we're like, yeah, it's good.
I think there is like this show's like definitely flawed, but it is kind of one of those seasons. The show like so far it's like one of the shows where it's like pretty close to perfect. Would you say that? Nothing is perfect.
No, nothing.
No show is perfect. And you can find flaws. And you can even find flaws in Orphan Black. And, like, if I actually, like, went through everything and really analyzed it, I could probably find several flaws. But I think, like, in, like, its ideas, like, the way that, like, it's, like, treats people, it's close to perfect.
Right. And I always...
Close to television perfect, I'll say that.
I always kind of love the show on, like, character. Because it's a show with so many characters. But I really like how they're all handled. And I like how they interact. I like how, like, the different connections between them. So, yeah.
I feel like none of the characters, like, do something that, like, you don't believe that they wouldn't do. And, like, if they do something that they wouldn't do, you understand why they did it.
Yeah, there's, like, reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like, they're, like, the people who wrote the show had a very good idea of, like, what a character was. And they were good at getting inside their head, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. I thought about this. We kind of got more into, like, what Kira can see. What are your ideas on that?
Oh, the weird psychic child. Hello, weird psychic child. Yeah, so that's always been, like, a really interesting thing where I'm never quite sure how to feel about it because it's, like, it feels, it's, like, a thing that's very interesting and, like, there's so much that is interesting about Kira and, like, I think there's still a lot of mystery there, really, because it's, like, we know that she's kind of special, because of like one thing or another, but like we never know the extent of that, and they always kind of like allude to like, yes, she's psychic, she's a psychic child, and like it, which almost kind of starts to kind of push the boundary of like the show's.
Well, can't you like you can argue like something with like psychicness is like a science fiction thing, though, can't you?
It is, yeah. I think it's science fiction, but it pushes kind of the boundary of the type of science fiction this is trying to be.
Yeah, but like they're doing it subtly enough, and also she's gonna have some friends soon.
Yeah,
with Helena's babies. Yeah. Yay!
So I always found that interesting, and it always feels like it's kind of pushing that boundary, and I don't know if it's doing that in a good way or a bad way. I still haven't figured it out yet.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I want to see how that.
We got 10 more episodes.
10 episodes.
And then we're done, and then I give you the power back.
Yes.
Do you miss it?
I do miss it a little bit, and I'm excited to show you the next show because it's not really anything like this, and so I think it'll be interesting, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Guys, I already know what the next series is going to be, but I'm not going to tell you that.
I think you told me, but I kind of don't remember.
That's okay.
All right. So do we have a comment corner, or we don't have any more comments?
Guys, we are fresh out of comments, which means that you need to comment on our videos. And if you're like, I just commented yesterday, we record this a few weeks in advance. So when we're recording this, we don't have any more comments to read. So you guys got to get on that. So leave us some comments, leave us some reviews on iTunes, tweet at us on Twitter, like post on our Facebook, something like that, and we read those on the show. So what more could you want than to have your very own name read on our program?
Hooray!
Just saying.
All right, well, that's the end of this episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please like and comment and subscribe and turn on notifications just to play it safe. We're also on iTunes. If you're listening to us there, thank you. Why don't you subscribe and maybe leave a rating and a review? That would be lovely.
Fabulous.
We're on Facebook, facebook.com/WittyClose Production. So like us there, leave a comment. We're on Twitter at WittyClose. You can follow us there, tweet at us, retweet our stuff, like our tweets. That's how that works, right?
Yeah, tweet them tweets. Tweet them Twitters.
If you guys want to donate to our Patreon so that we can continue doing this and maybe maybe do this full time, who knows, or part time even, and
allow us to expand a little bit.
We'll give once we get to a certain amount, we're able to do more. We can give you this content. We'll give you Patreon exclusive content. Which I probably need to redo that page, as well as our website. We have a website now, wittycloseproductions.com. It's a work in progress, but we're doing it.
And it's not wittyclose.com.
I said Witty Close Productions.
Yeah. Not wittycloseproductions.com, not wittyclose.com, because I don't really know where that's going to take you. It's Witty Close Productions.
Probably a clothing website, honestly.
I tried going on there, and I think it's a dead website. Nothing's really on there. Well, it's just a shame, because they should have just given it to us. But they didn't. So wittycloseproductions.com is a website.
Also, if you have any things that you want to have on the website or the Patreon, if you have any ideas, you can email us, wittyclose@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's our email, guys. And that's the end of season 4. We'll be back next time with season 5.
Wow. The final season of Orphan Black.
Hooray. I'm Dara Whitman.
And I'm Cailin Clothier.
Peace.